In the mid-1980s, long before GPS screens and digital cockpits, the air in Kodiak had a certain kind of quiet to it, the kind that settles over a place where the ocean meets the mountains and the winds carry stories of sacrifice. I was a young Coast Guard pilot then, flying the MH-65 and still learning the real meaning of service. One cold day, a C-130 touched down on the Kodiak runway. There was no rush of activity, no crowd of onlookers, just a solemn stillness. Inside that aircraft was the body of a 20-year-old American soldier who had been killed in the Iran-Iraq War. He was barely old enough to buy a drink, yet he had worn our nation's uniform with pride. When they asked me to fly him to Anchorage, I felt something deep settle in my chest, a mixture of humility, sorrow, and honor. Missions come in all forms in the Coast Guard, but this one was different. This was a life completed far too soon. This was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's friend. As we lifted off from Kodiak, the rotors thumping their familiar rhythm, the cabin behind me felt sacred. I wasn't transporting cargo, I was carrying a hero home. The sky that day was clear, for once, that crisp Alaskan blue stretching out forever, and I remember thinking how fitting it was. He deserved a peaceful flight. He deserved all the dignity we could give. Every mile toward Anchorage, I kept imagining the family waiting on the other end, their grief, their pride, their unbearable ache. And though they would never know my name, I wanted them to know, somehow, that their son had not been alone. Someone had carried him with honor. Someone had understood the weight of that final journey. When we touched down in Anchorage, the ground crew moved with slow, deliberate respect. No words were spoken, or none were needed. The silence said everything. To this day, after all the rescues, storms, long nights, and hard missions, that flight remains one of the greatest honors of my career and of my life. I didn't know that young soldier, but he has stayed with me ever since. Service isn't always about saving a life. Sometimes it's about honoring one. And that day in Alaska, I understood that in a way I never had before. I carried him home, but he's the one who stayed in my heart. Bless all the soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice. You will never be forgotten.